Alright, so let's continue with the next parts. There's a nice couple of falsetas out here. Oh yeah, by the way, you can check out the timeline I put in the YouTube video, so you can skip to any chapter immediately if you want to, or you can repeat something, stuff like that. Okay? So it's starting off here with this little chord. Starting off here at the low E string with the thumb, and then the octave, so it's the 7th fret on the A string. And then I'm hitting the B string, G string, and the high E string. And then we have on that B string we got the 9th fret, and we got the 6th fret on the G string, and the 6th fret on the high E string. Okay. So it's barred, the 6th fret here with the index finger. So it's like that, okay? Low E string and the A string. And that's a B string, G string, high E string. Then we have an open G string in between, after that. So what happens here is, the first little thing, open G string, and then move from the 9th fret to the 8th fret on the B string with the pinky, and then we have the 4th fret on the high E string with the index finger, and then again we hit the 8th fret on the B string, and then we have the open high E string. See that? And what we get then is the low E string together with the 4th fret on the high E string. And then we move from the 4th fret to the 3rd fret. So see that? It's slide down from the 4th fret to the 3rd fret on the high E string, and then we go into this little chord here. This chord is the 1st fret on the D string. We got the 3rd fret on the G string and the 4th fret on the B string, and we get a little bit open high E string perhaps in there. He's using the thumb actually by striking this chord. I think it's played 2 times. So the whole little thing is like this. So like this, okay? Then from this chord here, we have the high E string. And then the 2nd fret to the 4th fret hammer on the B string. striking it with the index finger, I guess. Middle finger, index finger. So the whole thing is like this, slowly. And then we continue, right? So we continue with this. And this is the 3rd fret on the high E string. And then we do a hammer on to the 4th fret on the high E string. And after that we strike the high E string and the low E string together. The 4th fret on the high E string with the low E string, open E string, okay. That is the little thing there. So slide from the 4th fret, you slide all the way to the 10th fret, and then you slide back to the 7th fret, and then you hit the 7th fret after that, okay? And while you hit the 7th fret, you do a slide down to the 6th fret on the high E string, and after that you get this. So you hit the 6th fret once more on the high E string, and then you hammer on the 9th fret on the B string, and then you play the 9th fret, and then a pull off to the 8th fret on the B string, and then again. So the little routine is like this. And then you slide from the 8th back to the 9th on the B string. And then you hit the 6th fret on the high E string. And then you do a hammer on to the 8th fret on the D string, yeah, so a hammer on. And then a little rasgueado with the ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and then index finger up and index finger down, so five strikes. A golpe in between with nothing, and then a muted upstroke, downstroke with the index finger. You can see which fingers I use here. So I'm sliding up with the middle finger from the 4th fret to the 10th fret. What I'm doing here is to the 10th fret and then immediately from my middle finger to the index finger to the 7th fret. And then I'm in this little part here, 7 to the 6th fret. Hammer on to the 8th fret on the B string. See, it's like that then. So here we go, really slow. Okay, and then the whole thing is like this, really slow. Really slow now again. Okay, and then we continue to a repeating of this part more or less. It's a bit different actually, but so the repeat, do all the more or less repeat of this part which is quite different actually. It's like this. Same position in the beginning, yes. Starts on the 7th fret of the A string also. And then you get the 9th fret on the B string. And remember the 6th fret on the G string and the high E string. The barred index finger here. Then a G string in between. And then you're moving down to the 8th fret of the B string, and then the 4th fret on the high E string, and the 8th fret of the B string again. Then the open high E string. What he's doing there is another time a high open E string, but together with the 4th fret and the 5th fret, the 4th fret on the G string and the 5th fret on the B string, with the index, middle and the ring finger. After that he's hitting the low E string, and then he's plucking the G, B and the high E string again, but then with the 4th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the B string and the 3rd fret on the high E string. A little chord. So it's starting out like this. Actually what I noticed that he's doing here, or what I heard that he's doing here, is the second time. So with this little part here, the G string, the G string, B string, E string, B string. That's what happens, I think, what I hear on the recording at least. It's a little small detail, but if you want you can try to copy it, otherwise forget about it. So what he's doing here is the normal thing in the beginning, this little bit. And after this, he's doing the... I hear the G string sounding also with the B string, so two at the same time. Maybe it's accidental, but I'm not sure. Then the high E string one time, and then I hear the high E string together with the open G string and the open B string. So, see all three of them, and then the low E string, and then this little chord, right, which is the 4th on the G string, the 5th on the B string, and the 3rd on the high E string. So it's like this, really slow, okay? And the low E string, I think, is just ringing through. So, okay, here we go. Starting on the A string, right? Another little detail here is this. So while you play the open G, B and E, high E strings, after that you mute them with you just land the three fingers here, the index, middle finger and the ring finger. You land them back on the strings to mute them, so that they do not ring. Continue, at least so that they don't continue ringing, you know. You see that? At least that's what I think is happening, and that's what I'm playing there. Otherwise it would sound like this. You hear that? And it's ringing. I think it's not ringing in the recording, at least. Alright, another detail there. And then going to the 6th fret on the high E string. pull off to the 3rd fret, pull off to the open high E string. Then after that, 3 times the 5th fret on the B string. Then you get the 2nd fret on the B string, pull off to the 1st fret, pull off to the open B string, and then the 3rd fret on the G string. So what we have there is after that you get the open B string, 3rd fret on the G string, open B string again, and then we have 3rd fret on the G string, pull off to the 1st fret, and then the pull off to the open G string. From the high E string we have this. And then we have this. 2-1-2 on the D string. Then it's the open B and the open high E string. And we have the 1st fret on the G string, okay? And then the 4th fret on the D string with the thumb actually. See that? So 2-1-2, open B and high E string, and then the 1st fret on the D string, and then the 4th fret on the D string with the thumb. So after this 4th fret on the D string with the thumb, we get again the B and the high E string open. And again the 1st fret on the G string, but then 2 times. Then we go to the 4th fret on the G string with the pinky, and we hit it 1 time, and we hit it a 2nd time, another time, together with the 2nd fret on the lower E string. Yeah. After the 4th fret of the G string, together with the 2nd fret on the B string, you get something like a muted upstroke with the index finger. And then you go into the C sharp minor chord. And that is the position is on the 4th fret of the A string, 6th fret on the D string, and the 6th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the B string, 4th fret on the high E string. I think he's doing a downstroke upstroke with the thumb. Then a downstroke muted. Then another downstroke without the 6th fret on the D and the G string. So, and then going an upstroke, especially the high E string, the B string and the G string, I think you hear with that upstroke. So the thing is like this. Okay, so the whole little thing here from this 2-1-2 here. Okay, so really slow this part, 2-1-2. And then again, really slow here. Yeah, that's about it then. And then the whole thing, the 2nd time then. So let me try it really slow, okay, like this. slower. Alright, after that you get this part here. And this is like the 8th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret. I played with the thumb actually. On the 8th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret on the D string. 2nd fret on the low E string. So it's kind of like this. 8, 6, 8. You see that? And then doing this chord here. Starting first with this is actually the 6th fret on the A string. And then we have the 9th fret here on the D string. 6th fret on the G string. 7th fret on the B string. 6th fret on the high E string. Then you do a pull-off on the D string. See that? From the pinky to the ring finger. Then another pull-off from the ring finger to the barred index finger on the D string. And then hitting the 9th fret on the A string. Okay, so the thing is like this. Alright. So it's this from the 4th fret on the low E string. Pull off to the open E string. 2nd fret on the low E string. Hammer on to the 4th fret. Striking the 4th fret. And then a hammer on from the 4th fret to the 6th fret. Striking the 6th fret again. And then going from the 6th fret, pull off to the 4th fret. Striking the 4th fret. And then pull off to the 2nd fret of the low E string. And then open low E string. And then forming this chord here. Which is the open low E string, the 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the D string, 1st fret on the G string, and the open B and high string. Alright? So the part from 8, 6, 8 here is on the D string. So you get after this, after the pull off from the 2nd fret to the open low E string, you get this chord in, right? So actually here you start with the 9th fret on the D string, down this chord here. So not like this. You don't start from the A string, but from the D string then. As far as I can hear, okay? Alright, then we continue to the next bit. The next part is like so you have the 8th to the 6th fret on the D string, and then you do is from the C sharp minor 7 chord, starting on the D string, doing a pull off with the ring finger to the barred 4th fret. see that? So it's like this. So hammer on, no pull off, I mean. And then striking the 7th fret on the A string. And then I pull off to the 4th fret on the A string, which is barred by the index finger. Like that, alright. Then going from the 4th fret to the 6th fret on the A string to the 7th fret. So this is like 6th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, back to the 6th fret, into this chord. So it's on the 6th fret of the A string. So this is the E flat 7 flat 9, which we see a lot of times, right? Yeah, so the positioning is the 6th fret on the A string, 8th fret on the D string, 9th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B string, and the 6th fret on the high E string. On the 4th fret we're sliding up to the 6th fret, hitting the 6th fret, hammer onto the 7th fret, hitting the 7th fret, and then 7 to the 9th fret hammer on. So all these notes basically have a hammer on before you actually hit the string with the thumb, right? Or pull off now. Except for the last one here on the 6th fret, it's just one time. The 6th fret on the A string here. So it's starting like this then, this little bit. After that, staying on the 6th fret of the A string, changing it into E flat minor 7 chord. So this is the 6th fret on the A string, 8th fret on the D string, 6th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the B string, 6th fret on the high E string. And you put your pinky here also on the D string 1 fret higher. So you're coming out of this chord. Out of the E flat 7 flat 9, remember that chord? And then shortly you get this part after that. You use the pinky, pull off to the ring finger on the D string, and then you do a pull off with the ring finger to the part index on the, which is on the 6th fret then of the D string. So a little bit of a muted upstroke, I think, with the thumb in between after this chord. Yeah, so we have this then. So this is the 9th fret on the A string. So the upstroke is not muted, I think, but after this chord it's already on this minor 7 chord. And then I think it's 2 golpes also. Going into 4th fret on the low E string, pull off to the open E string, and the 2nd fret on the low E string, hammer onto the 4th fret and then striking the 4th fret, then the same hammer onto the 6th fret, striking the 6th fret, sorry, and then sliding to the 7th fret, hitting the 7th fret, then a pull off to the 4th fret on the low E string, and then a slide from the 4th fret to the 2nd fret, and then an open E string, and then into this chord again, the E chord with so it's an open low E string, 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the D string, 1st fret on the G string, open B and high E string. Watch your timing here also, okay? So starting off on the 4th fret, when this chord follows, there's like a little pause in between there. Okay? It's a little bit of a different positioning here, based around the C sharp minor 7 chord. But then with this chord you put also the pinky actually 2 frets higher than the ring finger, which is kind of hard to grab, you know, at least for me. Yeah, that means the pinky will be on the 8th fret here. So you leave this C sharp 7 chord there. So he's hitting the 8th fret on the D string while having this chord there. The 6th fret on the D string. And then he's going back to the 8th fret, and then he's hitting the whole chord from the 8th fret on the D string. And then he's doing an upstroke again on the chord. And then you do a pull off from the 6th fret to the 4th fret on the D string. Then another 7th fret on the A string, to the pull up to the 4th fret on the A string. There's a few power chords after that, okay? So it's a 6th fret on the A string, 8th fret on the D and the G string. And then going to the 4th fret, the whole thing. 4th fret A string, 6th fret D string, 6th fret G string. Here's some open high E string, open B string in there. And then moving this shape up here. You bar the 7th fret of all the strings, and then you add the 9th on the D string and the G string. I think it's a rasgueado like this. And then keep it short. So up with the thumb, down with the middle finger, and down with the thumb. Alright, so the next little bit here, I'll play it a little bit slow. Starting off on the 4th fret of the low E string, to the 6th fret and the 7th fret. Then you bar the 4th fret with the index finger actually. I think he's doing a downstroke with the thumb on the 6th fret of the A string after that. And then an upstroke back. Yeah, and then after that we continue. Yeah, so then we go back to the 7th fret on the low E string. And then to the 4th fret on the low E string. Then to the 6th fret on the low E string. Then to the 7th fret on the low E string. So we have this then. Then we go into the 4th fret, which is barred on the A string. Then to the 6th fret on the A string. Then we get these things there. It's the 8th fret and the 9th fret on the D string. You see that? So let's do it slowly, starting at the 4th fret of the low E string. After that, he has this open low E string, 4th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the D string and G string. So that's a nice chord there. So he's doing it like. So it's a downstroke with the thumb. And then after that it's a downstroke, upstroke. And after that we have this little chord here, which is the 7th fret on the low E string and the A string, 6th fret on the D string and G string. You just have to know where the accents are of these chords, okay? So let me play the whole thing a little bit. Wait. I think what I'm doing there after these chords, I think there's a golpe there, then an upstroke muted with the index finger. You see? And also with this second chord here, I think it's together with a golpe, and then an upstroke, downstroke muted, what I do at least rhythmically, you know. See that? So this whole bit, a little bit slow, okay? And then it continues, alright? Yeah, sometimes in between you hear the open high E and B string. Kind of, you know, just rhythmically strumming at all times basically, right? Alright. What comes after that is and then again, and then a shorter version. So 10th fret, 6th fret, hammer on to the 7th fret, and then it's the 6th fret on the D string, and then it's like a pull off from the 10th fret to the 7th fret on the A string again. Yeah, so and then it's a hammer on from the 6th fret to the 7th fret, and then from the 7th fret to the 10th fret, and then back to the 7th fret and a pull off to the 6th fret, and then back into that chord again. Okay. Well, let me play this one slow first. variation is like this. Which is a little bit shorter. And like this. So it's a 10th fret on the A string again, 10th fret on the A string. Then from 6 to 7 hammer on the A string. Then the 6th fret on the D string. So you got this little bit now. And then we have the 10th fret to the 7th fret pull off. And then it's again the 10th fret, 7th fret pull off. And then hitting the 6th fret on the A string. So like this. And slowly now, the second variation of this little part. All right. So that's the whole thing actually. Alright, let me now play it at 35% of the speed, okay, really slow, with the track in the background, alright? So we get the next rhythm part here. Let me play it a bit slowly like this. And then going to... It's a bit tricky probably to have all the details straight while playing this alone. Without rhythm, slow also, at least for me. Let me play it now along with the track, alright, at 50%, and then you can hear what I do, and I'll get back to it into more detail after that. So yeah, the first bit is really it's on this chord. It's like the E flat 7 flat 9. So it's a 6th fret on the A string, and the 8th fret on the D string, 9th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B string, 6th fret on the high E string. Now the chord that we run into the whole time actually. So what's happening is this, really slow, after this little bit. So you see that? So you got the downstrokes, downstroke with the accent with the golpe, and then upstroke, you know. And this one is nice in there, so like a schiato with the, it's like a raschiato with the ring finger, middle finger, index finger, downstroke, upstroke, index finger, downstroke with the index finger and the golpe. So the thing is like this. And after that again, a little downstroke accent with the golpe. So the whole little thing. And then into that little thing there, yeah. So this next chord is like this. 7th fret on the A string, 9th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the G string, barred. And then we have the, what is it, the 11th fret on the B string. And then the 7th fret on the high E string. And we make variations on the B string by removing the pinky and then leaving the ring finger there. So it's going to be 11th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret, 9th fret. You know, this kind of variation you will hear in this little part. So it's kind of like this. I think he's doing a downstroke with the ring finger, downstroke index finger, upstroke index finger. And that's one round. It's like a triplet kind of thing. As far as I know, he's playing 2 times this with the pinky on the 11th fret of the B string, then 1 time to the 9th fret, and 1 time to the 7th fret. So then 1 time to the back to the 9th fret, and then 2 times the 11th fret again. Let's see, like this. And then that kind of thing after that. This timing thing, it's pretty tricky, I must say, at least for me. So this triplet thing in here, 2 times on the with the finger on the B string variation on the 11th fret, 1 time on the 9th fret, 1 time on the 7th fret, 1 time on the 9th fret, 2 times on the 11th fret again. And then after that it's like you do 11, 9 again, 2 strikes, kind of. That's how you can put them there at least. After that you get then so a downstroke with a golpe. With this chord is the whole thing barred from the A string on the 7th fret. And only the 9th fret on the G string, yeah. And then it's downstroke with golpe then. Upstroke with the 9th fret version. And then another upstroke with the 11th fret version here. Like this, okay? So you just keep strumming and you do the downstroke with the golpe and then upstroke, upstroke. Alright, so we have this little bit. After that you get this little bit. So it is 11th fret to 9th fret on the B string, pull off, then 9th fret to the 7th fret, and then a hammer on, yeah, it's like this, the hammer on here, and then there's a downstroke with the 7th fret only. You know, it's like an accent. And then another strumming and upstroke with a 9th fret plate on the B string. And then going into this here, D string, 5th fret. And then the 7th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the A string. Back into the E flat 7 flat 9 chord, okay? So the whole thing is like this. Slow. What I'm doing here is, after this little bit here, it's kind of like turning around, it feels like I'm turning around the strumming thing. It's kind of turned around here, I think. See it? Let's do it again, real slow. And then to the next part. Yeah, so the next part is the E flat 7 flat 9 chord again. Played like that, at least the accents are like that, so you get 3 times the downstroke with the index finger and the golpe. And then it's like I think he's doing this actually, upstroke, yeah, upstroke with the thumb, downstroke middle finger, downstroke thumb. And then I think he's doing a downstroke after that with the middle finger probably, and then an upstroke with the thumb. So it's like this, the whole thing. Now then like this. So let me play this part then really slow with the track in the background at 40% of the speed, okay? I think what he's doing here is I'm not sure if he's doing like it feels like I have to do a, you know, the rasgueado with the ring, middle index finger here, and then up with upstroke with the index finger. But it sounds to me maybe he's doing like this. Maybe he's doing a downstroke with the index finger with a golpe to have a little bit of a louder accent there. So I think that part on the last chord is like this, and alright. See that? So as you know, with these videos here, I'm just explaining what I think is being played on the record, right? On the track, of the original track by Vicente Amigo in this case. So it's not 100% accurate, of course, because sometimes I don't know exactly if he does a downstroke, upstroke, or whatever, or you know. And what I noticed also when he's playing these things live, then he's making variations, so he doesn't stick to the same always, of course, you know. It's kind of the bass is really strong, but there's always a place for improvisation, you know, and variations, of course, especially when doing tours and playing the same tracks over and over again. Variations will occur, right? I mean, improvisations will happen. So also the techniques that are being used, I'm really busy improving my own right hand and left hand technique, mainly right hand actually. My thumb technique I know has to be improved. I'm working on that. So, but I do not explain these techniques in these videos so much in detail because I'm working on it myself, you know. So it's best if you want to learn flamenco techniques. You look up other good videos, or you find a personal teacher, which is the best, of course, to learn a good method for your techniques, you know. And with these videos, what I'm making is basically almost, I think, 100% the exact notes that are being played, as far as I can hear on the recordings and see sometimes in the videos, you know. So another way to learn also how the masters of flamenco play their guitars is by looking at a lot of live videos, or go to concerts. It would be perfect, of course, if you have the opportunity to do that. If you can't see them live, you know, and then it's good to go and look for live registrations on YouTube, or even some videos are really good, of depending on you know, what you can find. And look at the technique, look at, sometimes you have nice camera angles and you can see the right hand, for instance, doing all kinds of stuff, and you can see the positioning, and on the left hand, and that's you can learn a lot from that, you know. So and also, but be aware that do not forget that everybody is different. So I mean, Paco Lucia was a different player than Vicente Amigo and Tomatito, if you name a few big ones. you know, Antonio Rey is different again. So, and they all have different, or have or had different, you know, shapes of fingers. The posture is different, the length of their arms and everything. So you are also different than the rest. So there's not just one way to. You have to have this to play like this. What works for one person doesn't work for everybody, you know, because everybody is different, of course, with their style of playing. I think it is important to listen to your body. So especially, I think mainly in my case at least, the left hand, sometimes my arm starts to hurt a little bit, and I know that I need to take a little break, or and it's always good to do stretch exercises also for the hand before you start playing, especially with these kind of pieces, you know, because they ask a lot, you know, from your body, because it's pretty intense playing this stuff, right? Pretty heavy actually. So it's basically kind of a major workout for your fingers, your hands, and your arms, you know, and your mind too, of course. So keep that in mind, and yeah, just make the best of it to your ability, and that's what I'm doing always. And we are never ready. There's always a way to go, you know. All right, thanks for watching again, and hope to see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.